Hey everybody, good morning. Gabriel's got the lovely idea here to do a little match analysis from our match yesterday.
It's actually not that great.
And yeah, we're just gonna go through some of our thoughts and what we were feeling leading up to and during the match. And yeah.
Well, okay, so first of all, it was a tough environment, I'll say that.
It was 4v1 for you.
It wasn't even that. It was just at your house, everything was, close to you. But I loved it because of that reason. I think it's what made it interesting. I think if we would have had the match any other place, it wouldn't have felt as special of a moment. And I'll be honest, a lot of people asked me, especially before I took my match with Milo, following my match with Autumn. I said, like you need to start training, you need to get stronger, you need to. And then something happened in the middle of that, which I won't release just yet. I'll release after. But it gave me a boost of confidence. And so using that confidence, I kind of threw the idea out there. I said, guys, what if I just, came back before I leave? Because I'm actually leaving for a very long time. I'm going to Australia for 4 months, then France for 2, then hopefully Italy for another 4. So I won't be back for a whole year. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to do a lot of arm wrestling. It's my last chance. And Milo, of course, was down. And so the match happened. So I get there round 1. I feel great. I feel amazing. I've lifted PRs everywhere. My arm feels really, really good. Of course, I'm worried about the hand. And of course, I know the biggest threat that this guy possesses is, as you guys can see, the height, right? But I learned a lot from pulling on him in the setup, in the way I should fight. And so to give a little context, I called Alan Fisher, my coach, right before this. He said, Alan, how should I approach this? How should I go about it? Because last time I fought on it didn't go my way.
Hey Brandon.
Hey Milo, how's it going?
Good.
Here, this is my
I'm gonna pause this video real quick. Anyway, you called up Alan Fisher.
I called him up and I said, how do I approach this match? Because last time it didn't go my way. And he said, well, listen, you got one option pretty much. If you're going to their house, we already pretty much knew Devin was going to be referee because it's something I kind of wanted. And the reason I wanted Devin as a referee is because he kind of gives goes out of nowhere. And everybody knows that. And usually that tends to favor the faster twitch guy, which I knew was me.
I'm so slow.
And then Alan said, what if you talk a lot? Because if you guys go back on my autumn match, I don't talk a lot. And the reason why is, as anybody would, I think, was, the nervousness, just the pressure being there with my first time up there, my first time having a match live stream of this size. And I was super excited, but very, very nervous. Anyways, I tried to talk a lot. So round 1, I get up, I'm all confident. I really felt really strong. I felt good. I get my hand on the table, and for some reason, he sets up really deep with me too, and doesn't really challenge for the height too much. So I felt really good. I was able to get my hand really good in there, and I remember Devin was asking us, are you both happy there? My shoulder, I'm definitely carving in as much as I can with him allowing me to. And he says, go. We slip, put the straps on his side. So every time that he tightens the strap, my hand gets a better and better bite.
Yeah, that was an ugly feeling that first round.
I did, and I tell you, I felt really, really confident after that first round. I said, man, if he sets up like that with me every single time, I'm gonna feel great. And I think what he didn't do enough of, but he started doing much later rounds, is this. And you'll see him practicing that after the first round. The drag, which is a very good counter to my press if you're quick enough to do it, which in the later rounds he was. Second round, that's a controversial match right there, okay?
I didn't like that one, man.
Because,
that was bullshit.
So I guarantee you guys, no questions asked, I false started the first 2 times. Way false started. The third time, look, he won.
Did we have the down ref at this point?
I don't know, but Devin definitely had to call for help at some point because it was getting too crazy. Guys, the antics were out of this world. I mean, I tried to pull every trick I've ever seen from Devin back to his own son in front of Devin. It was kind of like, it was a total shit show.
I loved it.
That's what I loved about it. I loved
like
about it too. Yeah, this is as real arm wrestling as it gets, in my opinion. But the third slip, or it wasn't a slip, the third go, the one I got fouled out and he won the round from, I felt a bit of pressure. But if you go back on it, you're right. I don't see too much moving backwards from him. He just loaded up a fuck ton. And what happened was, as soon as I felt that load, it was an instinct for me to say, okay, I'm going to go. If I feel load, I'm going. And
That's that
unfortunately,
prey drive.
and Devin had never said go. And so I went, started early. He won the round. At that point, I started to get pissed at myself. Like, man, how can I be making mistakes like that? Nobody wants to lose on fouls. Nobody does. Third round, what happened was, by the way, the second round, because the buckle was on my side of the hand, I didn't feel good at all. I didn't like my grip at all. And so my hand actually started to get blown up because this was the first ever time out of all my matches I felt really hard in the setup. And I think you felt it.
Yeah.
But I've never fought that hard. And it is tough when a guy has the leverage, the hand, and I think you have a shit ton more experience than me at fighting in the setup.
I don't know, man. That was definitely, I put myself out there more than I usually do. For most matches. You want to just chill outside for a minute and do it? We're just at a restaurant that we're going to be eating at.
Oh, by the way, our server is somebody pretty special.
Total idiot. We don't like this guy.
Total
Total
His
loser.
name is Larratt. But third round. So third round, yeah, I remember that. So pretty much what happened was I fully committed to a flop wrist press. I was very, very close. He pulls me out of it. You did a very good defensive, open top roll. It wasn't yet a king's move because you still had some connection, but it was very open, but your leverage kind of stopped me. Very, very quickly, I recognized, okay, he's got my hand, he's gonna take this. I thought if I could just push my elbow forward halfway through the match, it would stop and I'd get a restart, which wasn't the case because we agreed on running foul, something I should have thought of before this. So now this round, I'm like, man, I made another mistake. He would have won this round either way, but in my mind, I thought, if I put my elbow forward, I'll get a restart. Didn't happen. Fourth round. At this point, guys, my hand's really blown up. I'm really pissed off at myself. My mental attitude starts to change. And unfortunately, that's what you never want to happen. And that's, I think, where I need a lot more experience and a lot more mental experience in the sense that, like, I should have remained resilient, and unfortunately, I started to drop a little bit.
You gave up a little bit.
I did. I stopped the fight as hard.
Yeah.
If you guys look at round one to round, and look, guys, I mean, the adrenaline I had round one, man, it took a lot out of me. I'll tell you guys. After the first round, I'll be honest, I was seeing like stars pretty much.
From the second I told you to breathe, that's when I think it switched. And you kind of.
I mean, I don't know if there was one specific instance. I'll
that's
tell you
when
this,
I saw it anyway.
The first pin and the second pin that you got, or at least the first 2 rounds that you won on me, those really hurt. And then we get on the fourth round, and my mind isn't really thinking, hey, this is the last round, give it everything you have. But I need to try something else. So this time I set up for a top roll. Like, man, I can't get my flop wrist press in. I'm not too confident in it. And so my problem was I was flop wrist pressing a bit too far forward when really I should have flop wrist pressed more
way
down.
Inside, yeah.
Way inside. Yeah, kind of more like Camille does it. And yeah, fourth round, we get to the straps. I'm not a big fan because once again, I'm on the right side this time with the buckle on my side of the hand. I don't like the way my hand is. By the way, I don't know about you, I was blown up at that point.
Blown up, like?
Yeah, my hand was blown up, my forearm was blown up.
I wasn't pumped.
Yeah.
I didn't get pumped till after the match.
See, that's where the endurance comes in and maybe I just got way too excited.
It's the way I train. It's because when I go on the table, I'll sit on the table for like 3 hours straight. And I'll arm wrestle person after person after person. And I don't get a pump until like an hour in usually.
Most people can't do that, guys, okay? Just quick disclaimer out there. I cannot do that. I'm one of those most people. Anyways, fourth round, I hit hard sideways. And actually, if I look back at it, it was a pretty darn good hit. It was on timing. The cadence was perfect. I get close, and then I realize my hand's not going to hold. He gets my hand once again, which I really hope wasn't going to happen. Because this time, I'm not going forward. I'm going backwards with a lot of drag and side pressure. Kind of like a side pressure hit. Takes my hand backwards, pins me. Nothing I can do. I couldn't even get in a king's moving up because I lost my wrist. I lost my position. He wins. And at that point, I get very quiet. Fifth round, we're not really going to talk about it because I think what you guys will see is both of us really stopped fighting. Yeah. I stopped fighting a whole lot on the setup, and he felt that, and he stopped fighting too.
I crashed right after that one. My adrenaline was so up.
So, I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. On the fifth round, when I felt that he didn't stop when I felt that he stopped fighting, and I kind of had a similar bite as I had first round, I went very fast. I went very fast because I was like, but at the end of the day, it was a very tough match. I think you guys will look back on like the third round per se. When I went, it was a very good match. Like, it was close. Mm-hmm. He played his cards really well. I came in strong, guys. Like, this was a really interesting match for me. And man, give a little bit about what you thought. I loved it. I loved the match.
Again, I said it at the end of the video, but that was my favorite super match I've ever done, easily. Like the whole lead up to it and everything. Yeah. We didn't really have a lot of time to like prepare, and like bring hype to it or anything, but I was definitely thinking about it for a good while. And I was worried. I was really worried. I'm not gonna lie. I put on a lot of false confidence at the beginning, but as soon as I picked him up in my car from the airport, he was a way bigger, meaner looking dude than the last time I saw him. Like, dude, you looked dangerous compared to the last time I saw you. Not that you didn't before, but
no, it's true.
You were way bigger.
In 2 months.
Yeah, in such a short period of time. And
natural, guys, fully natural before anybody like starts getting ideas.
He was leaner, but he managed to put on like mass at the same time. I don't get it, man.
I had lost weight, guys. Before coming into this match, I was waking up at around 180, 181. Now, as soon as I got to their house, for some reason, I was
like 190.
190, 189.
I was like 196, so that concerned me.
But I'm lean, and I've been doing a lot of like cardio recently, which I think is why. Okay, but keep going.
Anyway, yeah. So that first match, it looks like he got a good bite, but I was actually pretty happy because I felt his wrist go right away. And I knew I set up like shit. And I knew I had to put a little bit more effort in the setups if I wanted to do anything properly that time. So I really made a point to fight. And that shit where he kept telling me to breathe.
Did I get in your head?
Fuming.
Good.
Man. Yeah, I didn't want to make it show, but
I know.
Hey, Connor, how's it going, man?
I could tell it was because I'll tell you guys this. Before the match started, what you guys didn't see is he starts to like do the breathing exercises, and I go up to his face and I'm like, breathe, Milo, breathe, Milo, breathe. And he like walked out to like do his preparation alone.
Yeah, I went and sat downstairs for like 10 minutes just to center myself.
And I was like, I got him. But then I go outside to listen to my music right before the match. This guy comes out, pulls out my headphone and puts it into his ear like, what are you listening to? I'm like, bro, let me like lock in, dude.
I know my buttons to push to piss people off, but yeah, it takes me a minute sometimes to like really get my adrenaline going and get my myself locked in. And I think that you can see that the first match that we have, I'm kind of like still sleeping a little bit, but by that second match, I'm fully locked in. I'm fully fired up, and I think it starts to go a little bit in my favor just with the setup and everything.
I start to feel worse and worse as the second and third round progresses. Yeah, right.
I started to really properly fight and not really give him anything, because the second I gave him anything, he took it and he fucking smacked me, man. Like, that speed, I have never felt speed like that with anyone. And I've arm wrestled a lot of people, like probably more than most for my age. But yeah, he is insanely fast, incredibly talented. Yeah, it was a great match. Match 4 was really interesting. That was a hard fought battle right there. He had me super close to the pad. Almost every single match that we had, actually. You had me within like an inch or two, but I was able to catch it, roll you out.
It was actually such a crazy match now that I think about it. Just every single round had like so much action to it.
Man, yeah.
So much going on.
If it was like an anime, you could split that shit up into like 30 episodes right there.
And look, for people talking about, oh, like Jody calling elbow and he's doing this and I'm pulling the strap down. Everybody was in this. There's not one person at fault.
There's no disrespect
and
at
all of
us,
either of us. Yeah,
we're totally good.
All of us, I think, agreed that we loved it. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
By the way, the running count for the amount of times that Jody said elbow was 94.
I saw
apparently.
that.
Yeah.
94 times. That's so funny.
So someone actually took the time to count every time.
So that's actually probably why I couldn't go to sleep until 4 a.m. today. I just kept hearing
elbow ringing in your ears.
I'm like, Jody, I'm trying to sleep. My elbows are down.
But yeah, great match. Good dude. Hey, thanks so much for coming out, man.